think there's going to be a lot of times where I post videos that don't have good lighting, just about have good sound, but um, I'm just trying to get some content out there and make sure that I am thoroughly expressing my thoughts whenever they come to me, and that I am very in tune with how I'm feeling, and that I use this opportunity to vlog how I'm coping and what my steps along the way were, so that when I'm ready to start helping other people through this, then I will kind of be able to map out my journey and use my own experiences as case reference. So today's a pretty bad day. Not really feeling too good. Had a bit of a shocking moment this week where kind of threw me off balance a little bit and left me a bit unable to just get back to what I was, and the processes that I was following, and the structure and the discipline that I had. So I'm just having, I would say, just a bit of a day off today, basically, and enjoying it so far. Been watching some YouTube, and like my sister and I, one of our favourite things to do is to watch Jordan Peterson videos, and she's not here anymore, so just watching by myself and sort of thinking about what he's saying. Started making some notes today from the video, and one of the things that Jordan Peterson does really nicely is he watches movies or TV shows or episodes or whatever on TV, and then he like picks apart the metaphorical characters who are in the scenes and lets you know what the writer and the production team may have wanted you to learn from the scene, and find it really interesting to watch. Like, absolutely love it. And his sort of like favorite place to go to is the Disney stuff, especially Disney princess movies, except for Frozen. So he's quite into. There's some stuff that he says about Mulan, Sleeping Beauty, um, and he talks a lot about Pinocchio, Peter Pan, The Lion King, but he even talks about South Park. Um, Talks a bit about Star Wars. He's quite varied with his, I guess, pop culture references, and quite in depth as well. It's so interesting to hear what his take is, because it's surprising, especially if you watched a lot of the Disney movies when you're younger. Like, I definitely grew up on them, and I know all the words to them, which is really weird. Like, I literally can recite the words as we're going along watching it. Obviously, Disney Plus has been a big bonus. I've really enjoyed having Disney Plus, and really enjoyed like getting back to watch some of the classics. And there's a lot there. There's loads there that I know the words to, but I didn't get the message at all. And some of them are really blatant, and some of them are quite subtle. But it's really funny to see like how much I must have enjoyed the movies without feeling the emotions that the characters were going through. So what was the last one that I watched? That was really nice. Yeah, Cinderella. So Cinderella, I kind of got it. Like, Cinderella was there with her stepsisters and the stepmom, and I kind of understood that she was like not exactly enjoying where she was and how things were going for her. But I don't think I really felt what she was feeling in the moments when her stepmother wouldn't let her go to the ball. And then obviously the fairy godmother comes and turns her onion into a carriage and tells her to go to the ball. Like, I think there's a lot of people who feel like that growing up, which then you watch movies like Cinderella and you feel what the characters are going through, and you experience it with them, and you understand the fears that they're experiencing, and then you can perhaps understand it about yourself. And I had a really I don't know, like very specific way of watching TV where I was more like learning the words and learning the kind of lyrics to the movie, and not getting what they're actually saying, like not really hearing what it is that they're actually going through, which is quite reflective of who I am as a person. I think I can hear what people are saying, I can listen well, and I can recall what people say, and I can organize my thoughts extremely well whilst I'm having the conversation with them, but not in an empathic way where where I'm actually understanding what the person's going through and trying to comprehend how they must be feeling. And I think Cinderella is quite an interesting one because it is about her sort of like escape from the tyranny of her home, and that she fully hopes, that there's a better situation out there for her somewhere, and that she doesn't really mind who it is that she falls in love with, and that's evident when she dances with the man who she doesn't know is the prince at the time, and he's fallen in love with her and she's fallen in love with him, and the situation's already going well for her without her needing to know who his reputation is. She's just pleased with who he is. But there's obviously the challenges of that she has to go home by midnight, and then the stepmother finds out that it was her, and the stepmother goes out of her way to ensure that Cinderella's happiness is blocked, and so she does everything that she can to prevent Cinderella from essentially escaping their household, because without Cinderella, somebody will have to do all of that really hard work, and the stepmom is conspiring against her, and I guess I'm not sure exactly. She's conspiring against her, and she's making the transition from where Cinderella is right now, because she has to be, to where she could be, rather difficult, and putting extra steps like locking her inside the bedroom. And on a metaphorical sense, I don't know factually exactly all the details of what was meant to be seen in that scene, but metaphorically, it could be the child of a family who is essentially raised and convinced that caring for the family, or doing the sort of like acts of servitude towards the family, cooking, cleaning, like taking care of them, making sure that the breakfast is ready, all that kind of stuff, that is the only way that she will be kept safe and given shelter and fed and looked after and loved. And so the child knows that this is injustice and feels like they're not being looked after at all in the home, but then the stepmother's also ensuring that she's not able to progress or grow out of the current situation, because from the stepmother's perspective, she will miss Cinderella very much because of how much she does for her and how much of a benefit Cinderella is, and essentially that she'd be losing her house slave, for her domestic chores and all that kind of stuff. So the metaphorical character is perhaps a parent who sabotages the child's hopes of love and hopes of romance by creating all of these additional barriers between them and leaving. And perhaps it's not entirely a story about a woman who is seeking to escape from her family. It might just be a story about a person who is looking to escape from their family, who is hoping that, you know, there's grass that's extremely green anywhere other than here. And so I think a lot of children definitely know the feeling where they wonder whether their parents really have their best interests at heart sometimes, and that they're kind of being manipulated into working for their to be allowed to stay in the house rather than being allowed to stay just because they are themselves. And the stepsisters, they get to stay just because they are themselves. Like, they don't have to earn their place and earn their love. They just receive the love no matter what, which is what everybody really hopes for and what everybody really deserves and everybody really needs. But, you know, some people don't want to be in a situation where they're looking after somebody else. Like, Cinderella's expressed that she's not happy with that situation and that doesn't suit her. And so the stepmom could facilitate Cinderella's creation of a life that fulfills her in every way, that she actually enjoys and wants to live, so that she's enjoying every single day. Obviously that would be quite a loving relationship and loving experience, and the stepmother is essentially just abusing her power just because she can. And Jordan Peterson always says, like, if you think that I wouldn't do that, like, you know, just be careful about how we deceive ourselves into thinking that we're not capable of malevolence, but that the reality is that we're just not as nice people as we think we are, and that given the opportunity and the possibility that, you know, I don't know exactly how Jordan Peterson puts it, but he sort of says that there's an inclination within all of us for getting away with malevolence if it's possible, and sometimes that gets taken out on our children, and I'm sure badly on stepchildren, because they are left in the care of the step-parents who don't have any biological responsibility to them. And if that biological parent hasn't done their own healing and hasn't found empathetic compassion, then they will struggle to unconditionally love somebody else's child. So yeah, like, there's lots of lessons to be learned. Disney Plus is here, and like, I hope everybody's getting the most out of it. It's definitely worth checking out and watch some of those classics, because there's so much there. And definitely comment if you agree, or if anything that I've said resonates with you, and comment if there's anything else, any other views on Cinderella that you guys have been thinking of, that you maybe have your own perspective on it. And really like doing these videos. I think it makes me feel a lot better. Like, I already feel quite a lot happier than I did before I started. So I think making content might be a really good way of sort of getting myself out of any dark feelings and places that I might be heading into. So thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't even know what to tag this one as, but I think we'll go with the metaphors hidden in Cinderella. I don't know, something like that. That'd be nice. All right, peace.